Petra, the rose-red city carved into stone. Chapter 1. The Hidden Metropolis. There are cities you can see from miles away, and then there is Petra. Hidden deep within the mountains of southern Jordan, the ancient Nabataean capital does not reveal itself easily. To reach it, you must enter the Sick, a narrow, natural gorge where towering sandstone walls rise hundreds of feet above the path. The light disappears, the outside world fades, and for several hundred meters, Petra remains hidden. Then, the canyon suddenly opens, and there it is, the Treasury, Al-Khazneh, a monumental facade carved directly into the rose-red sandstone. Its columns rise from the rock. Figures and classical architectural details decorate its surface, but the most remarkable thing is not what was built here, it is what was carved away. The Nabataeans did not construct Petra block by block. They transformed the mountain itself into architecture, and the Treasury was only the beginning. Beyond it lay an enormous urban center of tombs, temples, houses, markets, monumental stairways and public spaces. At its height, Petra was not an isolated desert settlement. It was a thriving metropolis positioned at the crossroads of some of the ancient world's most valuable trade routes: frankincense from southern Arabia, myrrh, spices, textiles, luxury goods. Caravans crossed the deserts carrying fortunes between Arabia, the Levant, Egypt, and the Mediterranean. And the Nabataeans understood something fundamental. In the desert, water was power. Chapter 2. Masters of the Desert. Petra appears impossible, a major city surrounded by one of the harshest environments in the region. Rain was unpredictable, summer temperatures were brutal, and when storms arrived, the dry valleys could transform into raging torrents within minutes. Yet the Nabataeans did something extraordinary. They learned how to make the desert work for them. Across Petra, archaeologists have discovered an elaborate network of dams, channels, cisterns, reservoirs, and pipelines. Some were designed to capture precious rainwater. Others redirected destructive flash floods away from the city. Water was filtered, stored, transported, and carefully rationed. Terracotta pipes carried it through the landscape. Stone channels guided it into reservoirs. Cisterns carved into the rock preserved supplies for the dry season. This was not simply survival, it was urban engineering. The Nabataeans had turned an unpredictable environment into a manageable resource, and that engineering created something far more valuable than water. It created stability. Caravans could arrive knowing that Petra could support them, merchants could trade, animals could be watered, goods could be stored, and wealth could flow through the city. The Nabataeans became masters of the incense trade. Their kingdom stretched across vast portions of modern Jordan and beyond. Their prosperity was built on geography, but protected by engineering. And then there was Petra itself. Its monuments were carved from sandstone in a landscape where every cliff could become a building. The famous treasury, the monastery, the royal tombs, the great temple, the rock-cut facades were more than decoration. They were statements. The Nabataeans had taken a landscape that should have been hostile to urban life and carved a civilization into it. But even the most ingenious cities are vulnerable to forces beyond their control. And Petra's greatest enemy would not be the desert. It would be history itself. Chapter 3. Lost to the Sands. For centuries, Petra prospered. Then the world began to change. In 106 CE, the Roman Empire annexed the Nabataean kingdom under Emperor Trajan. Petra became part of the Roman world, but Rome's arrival did not immediately destroy the city. Petra continued to exist. Its streets remained active. its monumental buildings remained in use. Yet the commercial geography of the region was changing. New maritime routes reduced the importance of some overland caravan networks. Trade patterns shifted, and Petra's strategic importance gradually declined. Then came earthquakes. Powerful seismic events damaged buildings and disrupted the city's infrastructure. Over time, maintaining a complex urban system in an increasingly diminished city became more difficult. Population declined, buildings were abandoned. The great capital of the Nabataeans slowly became a shadow of itself. And eventually, Petra faded from the wider Western imagination. The city had not vanished, local communities knew the landscape. But to much of the outside world, Petra became almost a lost city, until 1812. A Swiss explorer named Johann Ludwig Burckhardt arrived in the region. Traveling under the guise of a Muslim pilgrim, he persuaded his guides to take him toward the ruins. He entered the sea, and after centuries of relative obscurity, the rose-red city emerged once again before Western eyes. But Burckhardt had not discovered a forgotten fantasy. He had rediscovered the remains of a civilization that had solved one of humanity's oldest problems. How do you build a prosperous society when nature seems determined to prevent it? The answer was carved into the mountains, water captured from storms, trade transformed into wealth, rock transformed into architecture, and a hostile desert transformed into a home. Petra is often called the Rose-Red City, but its greatest monument may not be the Treasury or the monastery, or any single tomb carved into the cliffs. It is the system that made all of them possible, a civilization that understood its environment, adapted to it, and prospered within its limits. The Nabataeans are gone, their caravans are silent, their kingdom has disappeared, but their city remains, carved into stone, waiting in the desert. A reminder that human ingenuity does not always conquer nature. Sometimes it learns how to live with it.